There's a major problem in this whole Pokemon investing space that I wanted to talk about today. You know, on this channel, I really try to be as transparent and neutral as possible. Whether you believe that or not, I really try to be. Sometimes I make videos where I talk about a product and maybe I have it myself. And then people say, Vapor Self, you're just pumping up your own product. I honestly don't believe my channel is big enough to do that. If I'm buying it and I have it myself and I'm talking about it, it's because I truly believe it. It's not like I'm just buying a random product and just telling you guys, that it's good in hopes that you guys buy it and then it goes up. Like, that's not really how that works. So, other than people saying that sort of thing about me, I really try to be neutral about everything. I hope you guys understand that. But, online and other places, especially just people don't even have channels, just people online that talk about this whole Pokemon investing thing, a lot of people are pretty disingenuous. And I want to talk about that because I've noticed it, especially with Prismatic Evolutions. Something that people don't talk about, but people talk about a lot with Surging Sparks. And this is where, I tell you guys, I'm just a random dude, all right? Like, you can, like me or not. And I just give you guys my opinions about all this stuff, right? You don't have to believe me. You don't have to do what I say. I just give you guys my opinions. And at the end of the day, honestly, it's your money. You have to make your own decisions. So when you watch Pokemon investing channels like mine and other people, really, just take, what we say and our opinions, take it with a grain of salt. And really, at the end of the day, it's your money. Make your own decisions. Because, if you follow all these people, you might be following the wrong people. I might be wrong about some stuff, right? You got to make your own decisions. So I just want to get that out the way. And, it's really important, especially I feel like now, like especially with Prismatic Evolutions, there's this big problem and big thing that people really aren't talking about. So with Surging Sparks, these booster boxes were like, I don't know, 120, 130, 140, and during this whole time, a lot of people weren't buying because this was like the first booster box we really saw, go up in price from like being, at $100 on pre-order. Like everyone at this time was just not buying because people were saying like, at 120, 130, this is going to get reprinted. I'm not going to buy at these prices. And they've continued to go up all the way now until like $210. So, at this price point, everyone is calling for this huge reprint to happen, right? Because right now, these booster boxes are what, like $40, $50 above MSRP. It's not even double MSRP. So it's not extremely crazy when you think about, percentage wise, but everyone is calling for this huge reprint to happen with Surging Sparks because it's too expensive and there's a lot of demand. So people are talking about these big reprints that are going to happen with Surging Sparks. Obviously, we don't know if this is going to happen or not because Surging Sparks is only a month old. We need some more time. We need to see when this thing can actually get reprinted. What's going to happen with that? Is it going to be big, small reprint? We don't know anything, but everyone has speculated about Surging Sparks. Not everyone, but a lot of people have speculated about Surging Sparks getting this huge reprint. And that's the thing I want to talk about is with reprints. So a lot of people have been saying, Surging Sparks is getting this big reprint. But what's crazy is that, this is not even double MSRP like Prismatic Evolutions. Prismatic Evolutions, these normally trainer boxes are $50, right? Right now they're selling for over $100, so that's over double MSRP. And people seem to have forgotten about this whole reprint thing with Prismatic Evolutions. Like, tell me if I'm wrong, but with Surging Sparks, there's a lot of people when this booster box was at MSRP and now at 200, people are just calling for this reprint. But I feel like nobody has talked about reprints or anything that could happen with Prismatic Evolutions, and even more with Prismatic. Like, this is a specialty set, guys. Like, you got to understand with main sets, yeah, booster boxes get reprinted, but sometimes it's not just booster boxes. Sometimes they also reprint other products, so maybe they won't reprint as many just booster boxes. But this is a specialty set with, elite trainer boxes that usually get reprinted. And it's like no one talks about this, that this is double retail, that in a few months after this set is released, or maybe 6 months after the set's released, it can get pretty heavily reprinted. Like, why does nobody talk about it with Prismatic? It's because it doesn't help their case. I feel like a lot of people who say this sort of thing missed out on Surging Sparks or whatever at 120, 130, and now it's at 200, and they said, well, I'm just going to forget about it. It's too expensive. It's going to get a big reprint. But now with Prismatic, everyone isn't talking about reprints happening. No one's talking about how there's a possibility that this is probably going to happen where it gets reprinted pretty decently because it's a specialty set. So it's like people in this whole space, a lot of people can be disingenuous because they're not going to talk about things that don't help them, but they'll talk about only the things that help them. It's very strange, and I just wanted to call this out because everyone is so hyped about Prismatic Evolutions. Nobody wants to say anything bad because a lot of people, you know, bought a lot of stuff. A lot of these people probably bought at, over retail. So, it gets talking about, reprints and the possibilities of this stuff, going down or whatever. People don't like it, right? But, people are talking about this with surging, but with Prismatic, nobody's talking about it. And I feel like it's especially different with Prismatic that this is a specialty set and not like a main set. For example, like I'm not saying this is gonna happen, but look at like good specialty sets like Crown Zenith. Like yeah, just recently it started to go back up, but that thing got reprinted like crazy. Like the Elite Trainer boxes got reprinted like crazy. The booster bundles, like this stuff can happen, and I feel like especially for specialty sets with Elite Trainer boxes, this can happen way more than like a main set with a booster box because like I said, main set with booster boxes, it's not always that booster boxes get reprinted into the ground. And it seems like especially now so far with all the reprints we've seen with Scarlet and Violet booster boxes, they haven't been like ginormous. So this whole thing with reprints, everyone doesn't everyone talks about it with Surging Sparks, but why does no one talk about it with Prismatic? It's very strange, and hopefully you guys like maybe can understand what I'm trying to say here, where people don't talk about things that don't help them. Like I try to be transparent on this channel, like even if it doesn't help me, like I'm just trying to be real with you guys. And some of you guys don't like the realness. Some of you say that stuff I say that's real, like I just call it FOMO, or I don't know. People don't like to hear like honest truth, and I feel like I wanted to call this out today because just nobody is talking about this, and I feel like it's just been totally forgotten about with Prismatic, but everyone has talked about it with Surging. So I guess that's all I want to say. So let me know down in the comments below what you think about this. Like, am I the only one that's noticed this with Prismatic, that nobody has talked about reprints, but everyone is calling for this huge reprint with Surging? It's very strange. So that's the end of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one.